array of extant Greek manuscripts, okay? And we
Mm-hmm.
compare them in terms of what we can learn and discern about their descent. This is called textual criticism, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What we find out is that of all of the copyist mistakes, which are called textual variants, the overwhelming majority of them, okay, with very few exceptions, were copyist mistakes. They were because they're tired, or they dropped a word here and there, or they're word order mistakes. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
when we compare all the manuscripts that we have, and including the family resemblance that certain manuscripts have in terms of their textual variants, what we can find is that the textual variants are completely inconsequential. They do not pose any problem whatsoever to any of the doctrinal pillars of the Christian faith. And so, with all of these copies, we can for certain know, with rare exception, precisely what the original New Testament authors wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, there are some passages like the last 10 or 11 verses of Mark that is a question mark. Um, whether it's authentic or not, or whether it was just marginal notes that inadvertently got included, or a couple other passages. But other than that, the bulk of the New Testament, we basically know because so many copies were written. When you have so many copies that are written, quickly disseminated and copied again and again and again and again, it becomes impossible for the original text type of the bulk of the New Testament to be obliterated by uh, obstruction or textual errors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
would I would suggest that you read, for starters, the book by Geisler and Nix called "A General Introduction to the Bible," which explains the textual transmission of the Bible. Would you like a PDF copy?
Yeah, yeah. I was just about to ask you to repeat it. Please send it if you
All right.
have any.
All right, let me get a copy of this. All right, it'll take me a let's see. Give me a second. Okay, check your DMs. You should be receiving it in a few seconds.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Read the sections in there on the transmission of the Bible.
Uh, right.
When it comes to ancient documents of antiquity, we have more copies of the New Testament and closer to the writings than any other document in ancient history. Okay.
Right, but the point why I'm mentioning all this is we today have much better tools for reasoning than people before did, right? And a lot of the phenomena that were previously uh,
You have much better tools for reasoning.
yeah.
What is that?
Uh,
Like
in,
better,
I, in, in short, I would call this science. In short,
Hold on a second. You said we have much better tools about reasoning and thinking in regards to phenomena. I don't even understand what that means.
I think he's referring to better instruments to measure things. Like we have way better calculators, thermometers, more precise measurements to take.
yeah, 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 yeah.
How does that in any way mitigate against what the biblical authors wrote?
Because some of the things we would misconstrue as God were most likely natural phenomena.
One thing that
Um,
I think is rather interesting is about that way of thought is during I want to say it's like the 1800s. It was around the time when we had telegraph lines everywhere. There was a massive solar flare, and we know this just based on just the events, and it basically fried a huge amount of electronics, which were mainly telegraph lines at the time, and caused fires across the U.S. And during the time,
can
the
you
air
can you
was
can you send me a link to that, please?
yeah. Fuck. Let me.
You don't have
I
to
know
do it
it's a
right
thing.
now. You
Yeah.
don't have to do it right now, but
It,
I would like for
it,
you to send that to me. Okay.
yeah.
Now,
It's a really cool
well, first
phenomenon.
of all, first of all, okay,
I wasn't done. I just want to point out.
okay. Well, it's a little bit off topic, but go ahead.
It gets there. I'm just building it to describe.
Okay, all right.
Basically, so and the air was ionized, and they could send telegraphs without wires during this time. But the main thing that I wanted to mention is that auroras were seen way farther south than they are normally, and in some cases, the ocean got reflected a bright blood red due to these auroras. Now, people might construe a blood red ocean as the end of times, when in actuality, it's just the light from an aurora bouncing off the water, and they don't know what they're seeing. Early man is going to see these things and be like, I don't fucking know, but this is not the fucking norm. What the fuck?
Okay.
And they're going to freak out.
So Moss, what specific phenomenon do we have um, the um, the biblical authors well understood that some phenomenon first of all, the biblical authors all believed that all phenomenon is under the creation and the sovereign control of God. Okay. Now that doesn't mean that certain natural disasters, they didn't think that certain natural disasters were always a punishment from God, but they were always under the sovereign and providential control of God. Okay. So all you're just offering here is you're referring to the biblical author's outlook on life as kind of the God of the gaps argument. It's not. Okay, are you an atheist?
I am a Christian that rejected the mythological parts of Christianity.
And what are they?
Well, I don't really take God as a autonomous metaphysical being. I
Then
strictly, I
okay,
strictly
so
view it as
okay,
hold
I
on.
understand. No, I don't need you to explain. Okay, that's all I need to hear. Okay, now, do you believe that which is fundamental, foundational, and ultimate, uh, from which all things derive and depend, is a mind?
Repeat it, please.
Do you believe what is ultimate, that which is eternal, unconditionally non dependent and derivative, the source of why anything exists at all, the source of any contingencies or temporalities? Do you believe that which is fundamental and primary is a mind that we call God?
I would say yes.
Okay, well then you believe in a personal God.
Hmm.
Now, Do you believe that that mind, which is ultimate and fundamental, is
Hold on,
separate?
you're speaking about a metaphysical mind that's outside of reality and it can impact
No,
reality.
sir, listen, okay? The
Hmm.
word reality is an abstraction to
Yes, yes.
quantify. Listen carefully. It's incoherent for anyone to suggest that something is outside of reality, because reality is not a place, it's not a location. It is an abstraction referring to the set of all real things. So if you say that something is outside of reality, then that which you're referring to would not exist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay? Now, so reality is just simply one or more things that are real within an abstract set. Okay? It doesn't mean that the members of the set are not real. It's just that the grouping is a mental set. Now, do you believe that there is an eternal supreme being, a creator, who brought into existence all that is not itself?
No, no, no.
Okay. So you don't believe, so do you believe what is fundamental is a mind?
Uh, well, now that you put it this way, no, no.
Okay, then you're an atheist.
Well, no, I still follow Christian doctrine.
No, you're not understanding. Okay, you are not following the Christian worldview. You may cherry pick certain mores. Okay, um, uh,
But
from
I
the New
still follow
Testament.
Christian doctrine.
No, because all of that doctrine derives and depends on the most foundational truth, and that would be that which is eternal and ultimate. The source of everything that is not God is God Himself in a mind.
Yeah,
So
but
you don't.
I don't really
You're not.
understand what are.
Listen, there's no argument here. Okay, there's no argument. I'm just simply explaining to you what you do believe. Whether or not I agree with your belief set as being true is another issue. But there's no argument here as to what you believe. If you don't believe that which is
Why is
ultimate,
it a necessity?
you're not under. You see, this is going over your head. Okay, either you believe what is ultimate, what is fundamental, what is metaphysically primary to all secondary states. Either you believe that that is a mind, or you don't believe it's a mind. Do you believe that which is metaphysically primary and ultimate is a mind?
Um, I don't really understand why would that be a
Can you answer the
necessity for
question,
me to
please?
follow that doctrine.
Can you answer the question?
Um, I think that in that
All
case
right,
I would have to.
listen. You think about it. I'm going to dinner right now. I'll be back in about an hour and a half, and we can resume the conversation. Okay?
No, I had to go to bed. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, then we'll have to do it some other time. Now, we didn't
Yeah, yeah.
agree. We listen, and I mean this sincerely. We didn't agree on stuff, but I do appreciate you coming in and raising these questions and objections. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll have a
Okay.
conversation again. But if I'll be back on in an hour and a half. If you can come on tomorrow, then we can talk then. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right. I'm going to dinner.